So I'm joined by New York State Senator Kevin Parker from Brooklyn, right next door to Manhattan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Oh, we're all holding up now. So
Yeah.
you know, we've heard a lot about what the federal government is doing about the coronavirus, but what are states like New York, which is now the hardest hit state, doing to help its citizens in this critical time?
Yeah, I mean, we can spend all day with all the things that we're doing. Obviously, we've been fortunate to have the leadership of Andrew Cuomo helping us, and he really has been great in terms of taking the bull by the horns and addressing this thing full on, taking it very seriously, and using all the coordinated efforts of the state to get things done. One of the first things the state legislature did about a month ago, actually, was to give the governor some emergency power so that he wouldn't have to keep coming to the legislature
Sure.
every time he wanted to make a move. And we also put in about $40 million to start addressing the needs of the state as it relates to COVID-19. Um, Immediately, the governor did two things. He actually started a website just for coronavirus, and it's actually www.coronavirus.health.ny.gov. That's coronavirus.health.ny.gov. And then he did a hotline. And so we have a 24-hour hotline that is staffed, and that people can call and get information, frequently asked questions, they can get statistics, anything that they're concerned about, they can talk to folks there. And then we began the important work of dealing with people who were suddenly thrust into unemployment. And the state legislature met and created a dynamic where the folks who were unemployed could actually get unemployment right away. They didn't have to wait. And so we did that, as well as boosting unemployment insurance for people who needed to receive it.
Are you getting a lot of calls from your constituents who are concerned right now, especially since, New York is such a hot spot?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody's concerned. People are anxious. People are fearful. I mean, a couple of things. One, we've just been promoting facts over fear. We really want people to kind of understand the nature of the virus itself, how it's spread, the fact that it's person to person, that it's not airborne. We are encouraging people to wear masks, but not because it's in the air. It's not because you can't walk outside your door and be afraid to breathe because you might catch the virus, but you can catch it from another person. And you can catch it in the air if, let's say, you and I are talking within close proximity and I have it, and I'm exhaling while you're inhaling. If you get enough load, you can catch it that way. If you're in a room where a coronavirus patient is recovering and you're in that room, you can probably catch it from, again, that room, that air being stagnant, and the load be the viral load being in that air, right? So that it can happen that way, but it's just not generally in the air, right? It's not aerosol where people are just catching it because it's lingering in the air. Is it actually, from a molecular perspective, is actually heavy, and so even if it's in the air, it actually drops down on surfaces, which is why the instructions have been for people to wash their hands very frequently, be careful what you touch, wear gloves, wear masks when you're out around other people, right? Like if you're just walking on the street by yourself, you're in your car by yourself, wearing a mask is unnecessary. But if you're going to the grocery store, when you're in the grocery store, you should have a glove and masks. We really want people to have facts over fear. And the other thing that obviously we're dealing with is just, people are now kind of stuck in their homes for the most part. And we want folks to really find productive ways to use that time and not just sit there and watching news all day about coronavirus and working themselves up. But also, if you're going to look for news, make sure, one, you have credible sources, and then monitor how much of that you're taking in, and then move on to do other things with your day. Because obviously, to be hearing bad news, the number of deaths, the number of cases all day can be upsetting to anyone, and especially children, if you have children around who may be watching the news as well.
Yeah, that is solid advice. So before I leave you, I want to touch on one thing. Andrew Cuomo, Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York, has come out and openly said that, the federal bailout stimulus, whatever you want to call it, really didn't address the shortfalls at the state level. And he said, quote unquote, New York is essentially bankrupt right now. How
Yeah.
are the states going to deal with this surge in demand, which is already the reality in New York, and the devastating financial picture that they now face?
Yeah, first of all, let me just thank, again, Governor Cuomo, who's been doing a yeoman's job at leading the state, but then also our leaders in Washington, particularly Senator Chuck Schumer and some of our other congressional leaders like Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, Congressman Gregory Meeks, Congressman Jerry Nadler, you
The New
know,
York delegation, right
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, Congressman Adriano Espaillat have all been great in making sure we got money. We got about $11.3 billion. There's about $5 billion coming directly to the state as a lump sum, but just for corona-related activities, there's about $3.9 billion going to the MTA, another $400,000 going to other mass transit areas, and then there's $1 billion coming directly to the city and $1 billion to other counties, which gives you about 11.3. In addition to that, there are funds for loans and grants coming through the SBA for New Yorkers and additional boosts to unemployment insurance that also are coming to New Yorkers that people can apply on through those federal websites. But there's no money just literally for the other, like the things that we need, right? Literally, I'm in Albany now. We're actually voting as I speak on the state budget. We're about we think somewhere between 10 and $12 billion worth of deficit next year. And there's no money for that at this moment. We're told that two bills have already been passed. We're expecting that one or two more bills are going to be passed. And we're really, really, really working and imploring our fellow federal delegations to bring back some general funds to help bail us out of this. This is the largest contraction of the U.S. economy since 1932, right? Since the Great Depression. And so, we're about to surpass the number of people who are employed at that time. And so we really need to be thinking in 2 or 3 months, how do we restart our economy in a significant way? And we're not going to be able to do that unless we get a significant bailout from the federal government.
Well, that's great work. Well, thank you for all the work that you're doing. You're away from your family now in Albany. Are you guys practicing some safeguards there to make sure you don't infect each other in the state?
Yeah, no, social distancing has been the order of the day, both in Albany and in Brooklyn. I'm in the office now with a skeleton crew. That's literally one person in my Brooklyn office. I'm working from home. Most of my staff is working from home, and social distancing is really the only way that we know that we're going to get this done. But people also need to take care of themselves, boost their immune system, eat healthy, get rest. Drink plenty of water, drink hot liquids. And take care of yourself during this time, and more importantly, take care of each other, because we're only going to get through this together.
We can't ever forget that. State Senator Kevin Parker, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thanks for having me. Everybody stay healthy and stay safe.